Hi, this is John Han with the Pulsing Cinema, and the movie of the day is the 1998 Terry Gilliam film Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Oh my God, what a hell of a movie! What a hell of a trip! I watched this movie 4 times when it was in its theatrical release. I just kept going back, and I mean it was. I don't know. It was quite an experience. The film is like an acid trip. It's like some kind of cinematic drug trip that just takes you and grabs you, and very much kind of like you're just watching a lot of these crazy characters. Hunter S. Thompson and his associate, his lawyer, Dr. Gonzo, Benicio del Toro, and Johnny Depp just basically rip through this kaleidoscope funhouse image of 70s Las Vegas. A great film, the story, what story there is. Hunter S. Thompson, crazy gonzo journalist, is hired to cover this sporting event, this bike race in Las Vegas. He gets his lawyer, brings him with him, brings a bunch of drugs, and it's this Terry Gilliam mess of of craziness. I mean, the film apparently began. I mean, it had been in production for years and years and years. People wanted to make a film from the life of Hunter S. Thompson, a crazy famed writer who wrote for the Rolling Stone. He wrote for everybody. He was a gonzo journalist, a crazy guy who was part of the 60s and 70s generation, and he chronicled the 1960s and 70s American generation. He did famous articles on the Hells Angels, and on Nixon, and all of these hot-button political and social issues of the 60s and 70s. So he had a reputation of being kind of unhinged, drug-fueled, crazy, and he was just a larger-than-life personality who eventually committed suicide. A crazy guy, and the first attempt to make a movie of his life was the Buffalo Rome in the early 80s, starring Bill Murray as Hunter S. Thompson, and it's a far more kind of a realistic portrayal of the Hunter S. Thompson, but it still is wild and still is wacky. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is based on an actual work by Hunter S. Thompson, which is based on a real event of him going and covering that bike race, but again, kind of seen through the prism of this crazy gonzo journalist, and then rendered by a crazy gonzo filmmaker, Terry Gilliam. It makes for some really powerful results. I mean, it's just a ride. And you can you can watch the movie. And I watched the movie in 1998. I was just out of high school, and I watched it. As a young person, without the baggage, the cultural baggage of and understanding the cultural context of where Terry Gilliam and Hunter S. Thompson were coming from, because the film is in many ways kind of like. People, this two people experiencing the end of the free love generation, the beginning of the 70s, the end of the 60s, the end of the free love generation, the beginning of Nixon, and then the craziness of the 70s and the 80s, and in the film and in writing, Hunter S. Thompson describes this generation as a wave, and the wave is coming back out, and it's just this cyclical. We're seeing the effects of the naivete of the flower power generation, and the realization that they didn't change anything, that everything politically and culturally is just going to slap back. It's still the same. We're not a utopia, So it's all of that stuff and all the subtext of Hunter S. Thompson, but at the same time, you could view it as like a Cheech and Chong type, drug-filled odyssey, and that's what it is as well. And Hunter and the film, I think, had been, as I said, had been in production for years. I think at one point it was almost seriously made by Alex Cox. the screenwriter and director behind Repo Cop, the British guy, and he had a relationship with like Hunter S. Thompson's ex-wife, and there was an issue with the rights or something. It was a weird, political thing, and eventually at the end, it slapped back, and Terry Gilliam got it, at the last moment. But I think the results are, I don't know what an Alex Cox version of this film would be. But I sure love the Terry Gilliam version of it, and I think he did a great job. It's the Terry Gilliam. The usual extravagances of Gilliam are on display. The crazy characters, the cinematography, the beautiful widescreen cinematography. It's just it's a trip just right in front of your eyes. I still watch it. And Johnny Depp and Benicio del Toro, the comedic timing between them, it just there's scenes in this film like the elevator scene with Cameron Diaz, and the scenes with Depp and Benicio when they're both individually freaking out, the White Rabbit scene when they're in the bathroom with Gonzo, where he wants him to fucking throw that fucking radio in the bath when it peaks, all that shit. I mean, it's just funny as hell. And then it just gets into this odyssey, and it just ramps up, and gets crazier and crazier and crazier, and more stylized and just insane as you begin to perceive the film through the warped impressions of these two guys, and we just go with it. I don't know if Alex Cox would have had I can't say. I was about to say I don't know if he would have had the balls to go forward. Maybe he would have had the balls to even go farther. Again, it's difficult to be a Monday morning quarterback. Alex Cox could have made a great film. He could have made the best film. I mean, I don't know. I can't talk about films that don't exist. Some people like to talk about, the Alex Cox this, the Orson Welles Heart of Darkness, the whatever, the film that wasn't made, or this. I can only talk about the film that was made, and I can't imagine a better movie than the Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Just personal opinion. A lot of that is probably wrapped up in the nostalgia of the film, because I saw it, as I said, at a young and impressionable age, and it really hit me, and I think even if a movie is good or bad or whatever, if it does kind of hit you at that moment, you kind of respond to it. So Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, a great movie.